From beautiful Marathon in the heart of the Florida Keys, the USA Network presents exclusive coverage of the Michelob Light Marathon Offshore Challenge. This is the second National Offshore Powerboat race of 1986, and the excitement is high as these giants of offshore racing compete not only for the dollars, but for the points to later this year claim the U.S. National Championship. The Michelob Light Marathon Offshore Challenge is brought to you by Mercury Marine, only your pulse accelerates faster than a Merc. And by KS&W Offshore Engineering, the power behind the winning team.
Hi everyone, Dick Crippen welcoming you to Ferro Blanco in Marathon in the heart of the Florida Keys. And with me, a gentleman we're welcoming back to offshore racing, Jim Hendricks. Jim, good to see you, and what a time to come back.
Nice to be here, Dick, and it's going to be a good race. I'm excited. The sun is shining, 90-degree temperatures, smooth water as water goes in this area. We should see some high speeds, good competition, but it could be dangerous because sometimes those guys want to push the throttle a little bit more in smoother water, and we could have some blown engines.
And of course, we remind everyone this is only the second race on the national circuit, and so they're still finding out what these boats have.
Yes, you can be sure that they're testing props, they're taking chances with shafts, etc., etc. They've got a ways to go, so they may take a little more chances.
Well, Jim, I don't think we could have a more beautiful spot to be in than here in Marathon in the heart of the Florida Keys. And we took a little time earlier before the show started to go around and see some of the sights. We'd like you to join with us.
From Miami to Key West is just 45 minutes by air, but people will miss a great adventure if they fail to leisurely enjoy the pleasures of America's highway to the sea. The Overseas Highway is the magic carpet by which visitors from Florida's mainland can cross into that special world of the Florida Keys. America's Caribbean islands are dominated by deep blue seas, nodding palms, and beautiful beaches. Flowers of all types are abundant, and they share this paradise with a large variety of wildlife. Marathon, Florida is the heart of the Florida Keys and is easily accessible by land, water, and by air. If you fly to the Keys, you can land at Marathon or Key West. Commercial airlines as well as private planes fly in regularly. Utilizing Marathon as a starting point, visitors can take trips to Key West and the Upper Keys. No island or attraction in the Keys is more than 60 miles away from Marathon. Excellent resorts are found throughout Marathon and the surrounding areas. Many feature large, full-service marinas. For the landlubbers, tennis courts can offer an afternoon of friendly competition. Marathon and neighboring Key Colony Beach respectively boast 18 and 9-hole golf courses. Marathon's 18-hole championship golf course is open to members of country clubs everywhere. All the trappings of outdoor tropical living, from early morning jogging to just lounging poolside in the sun, can be found in the Florida Keys. Anyone for camping in the Keys? It's a great place for lazy living any time of the year. The camping areas are plentiful and varied to suit all budgets and types of camping gear. There are many things to see and do in the Florida Keys. One of the great joys of traveling is bringing home a memory of good times or an exotic souvenir of your trip. The Keys offer a host of wonderful shops. Hand-fastened jewelry, some quite elegant, mobiles, and bric-a-brac are all available. A unique collection of shops that specialize in wares from around the world. The racers in today's event and many who came to watch are enjoying Marathon in the heart of the Florida Keys. Dick Crippen with Jim Hendrick, and we'll return to the Florida Keys for the start of the Michelob Light Marathon Offshore Challenge right after this. Let's take a look at the starting lineup in the open class. The US 1 Seahawk, Sal Magluta, will be driving that boat. The number 3 boat is the Jesse James, the brothers Chris and Mark Lavin.
Bob Fraser will see action in open class, driving the Systems, Earl Lanier, the throttle man. Also, look out for Craig Berry and Bert Lauro and Gary Smith in the Cigarette Hawk.
In the number 20 Seahawk, Willie Falcon will be driving that. And in number 65, Daddy Cool second, Art Swift, the Rookie of the Year last year.
Taking a look at the Molson Indy, driven by these two young men. They'll see action today in a VDP type. And here's another catamaran, Team Apache, driven by Ben Kramer.
Moving to the modified class, the Baja Bandit 2 will be out there, the M number 7. And M19 is Love It Again. Mike Lehman will be driving that boat.
Modified class should see some good speeds today, especially from East Coast Marine. Here's the team of the special edition, M66.
In the M80 Smiling Jacks, J.W. Bishop will be the driver. The M99 Blue Max, the only woman driver in the field today. In Pro Stock, the P2 ACR Spirit. And watch out for Omar in the P4 Captain America.
You'll also get competition from the Agitator, the P40. And you know what, Dick? There are two Captain Americas, the P44, the second member of that team.
And a little competition, if you want to talk about that, from the P52, already with a win under its belt this year, Long Shot. And the P72, what a package, and watch out for them.
I used to have a critter called Bandit. Wonder what these guys will do today, the P84.
Well, there are 38 boats entered in 6 different classes in today's Marathon Challenge. Now, earlier, Jim caught up with the defending champion in the Stock A class, Bob Erickson, and his throttle man, Hurley Stepp.
Bob Erickson, 1985 National High Point Champion, Stock A. Bob, how many races did you win last year out of the High Point Championship season?
We won 5 out of the 6 races in last year's season and scored 2,700 points for the national championship.
This is a boat that people can actually go in and buy. I mean, it's everything stock. Mercury engines, your skater hull.
That's correct. Yeah, it's very much like a production model.
24 foot. Can it take the rough water?
Yes, it can. It's made out of some very exceptional materials, such as the Ashland marine resin that's in it. Even though last year was one of the roughest seasons in a very long time in offshore racing, we won most of them.
Bob Erickson has to have a lot of confidence in you, Hurley, if you're handling the throttles and he just holds onto that steering wheel.
Well, it's a combination. We both have to trust each other a lot, and, you know, it's a team effort.
It's reading the water?
Oh, yeah, a lot of that, and, you know, but you can only do as much as your driver can do for you.
And you have to really be quick, because this is actually a small boat in comparison to some running.
Yeah, it'll get out of the water a lot easier, and it doesn't take as much water for it to start jumping. You know, so you're a little quicker on the throttles, you hope.
Well, he'll need to be quick on the throttles today, as the competition on this course will be tough. And Jim, you're familiar with the course. Why don't you give us a little walkthrough? All
right, Dick, from the start line, the boats will proceed south to checkpoint number 1 and make a left turn under the 7-mile bridge. They'll continue to travel east to Sombrero Key, where they'll turn north at checkpoint number 2 and continue north for about 10.5 miles. And after they reach checkpoint 3, just west of Turtle Shoal, it's on the checkboat number 4. They'll turn south off of Hawks Cay Resort. The boats then will continue to travel on down south to the 7-mile bridge. After they get under the bridge, they'll turn right around checkboat number 5, then north to the start-finish line. The open and modified and pro stocks make this run 3 times, and then 1 short lap between checkpoints number 1, 2, and 5 before they complete their course.
Well, we just got word from race headquarters at the Buccaneer that there will be a slight delay in the start of the race. The officials are moving additional medical personnel into position. Safety is always an important factor at one of these races. Well, there's the new Maelstrom ACR Spirit Boat P2. Jim had an opportunity to talk with the owner and sponsor of that boat earlier about the new craft.
Dick, meet a man who has driven and won in the unlimited hydroplane class. He's been an official in unlimiteds. He's been official in offshores. He's driven offshores. He's a builder and an owner. His name is Gene Whipp. And Gene, this new Maelstrom all-new glass-molded boat has to be one of your pride and joys.
It really is, Jim. It's something we conceived last November, and
Who's
we
we?
worked hard. Well, Bernie Rice is a good friend and a business associate from Chicago, and Mike Peters, probably one of the finest designers around, who's designed the other wooden Maelstrom. We got together and we conceived this brand new 32-footer, and we're just thrilled with the results, and of course really thrilled with the marriage with ACR as our sponsor.
Well, thank you very much, Gene. Now let's talk to the man who puts up the money. He's called the sponsor, ACR Electronics, George Woods. George, you really find this is a successful venture for you in sponsoring these kind of boats?
Absolutely, Jim. We've been in the sport now 4 years, and we found that we've been able to show our products very well, find people who can use them. We can prove the application through the offshore racing because of the high speeds and the risks. We sell safety products, so for the marine market, that's a good example of how you can use a product. And we were quite pleased this year to get involved with Gene Whipp. The guys at Maelstrom, they got a great design. The marriage, we've got the ACR Maelstrom racing team, and we think we go out and do a heck of a job in the pro stock class and sell an awful lot of product.
Well, there's the yellow flag and the flare. They are now out on the course. The start of the 1986 Marathon Offshore Challenge not far away. The drivers getting keyed up. A big fleet of spectator boats here today, and With 38 boats, Jim, I think they're going to get quite a show.
Yes, they are. They're going to see these big boats coming under that 7-mile bridge. You go 144 miles, and now here's the start of the open class, Dick.
And right off the bat, Seahawk goes out in front, jumps to an early lead. Competition on the outside to the right of your screen is the Seahawk 20, and then Systems on the inside. A battle right off the bat, and these boats had to be predicted as favorites somewhere along the line. It's interesting that we have 2 team boats out there in the Seahawks.
They're heading for check boat number 1, where they're going to make a left turn, leave the Gulf of Mexico, under the 7-mile bridge, and out to what looks like, as we've gotten reports, smooth water in the Atlantic today.
Well, Jim, that boat that came right underneath our helicopter was the Jesse James. Here you see the leader as he approaches turn 1 and makes the turn heading to the 7-mile bridge. That's US 1 Seahawk. Jesse James right on the outside of him. This looks like a battle royal. There you see the Seahawk 20 now in 3rd position, followed by number 7 Systems, and then number 65 Daddy Cool will be coming around that turn. So it is going to be a drag race as they come down. They are not allowed to pass, as I understand it, half a mile either side of that bridge.
That's exactly right. The officials have made that rule in the interest of safety. Hold your positions a half mile either side of the 7-mile bridge when you're trying to negotiate that part of the course.
There's a good shot of the Seahawk team boat, number 20, and there's Systems going through, and they're just going under the bridge. These boats bouncing a little bit in there in the wake action. The lead boats have a lot smoother ride. That's Team Apache going by there. The number 8 Cigarette Hawk coming up in here. A V-bottom boat holding a lot better. That's the Molson Indy. And watch them as they go under the bridge, and all the fans up there are waving down on them, trying to cheer them on as they head out into the ocean.
Now, as they go under the 7-mile bridge into what is relatively smooth water for this type of race, the deep V's won't have the advantage today. It looks like it's going to be cat water.
Well, Jim, talking about cats, look at these 2 cats going at it, a drag race, if you will. On the outside, the light-colored boat is the number 3 Jesse James. On the inside, Sal Magluta in the US 1 Seahawk. That's the boat that was setting the pace right off, but Jesse James right now seems to be finding a little extra power.
Well, the Laven boys showed well at the first race at Treasure Key, but a 10-minute penalty, of course, cost them the race, but they're trying to set the pace here right now in the early stages of this, the Michelob Light Marathon Challenge.
The boat that set the pace right off the start, of course, the US 1, there you see it large in the center of your screen. Sal Magluta and crew, and Jesse James on the outside would like nothing better than to take him to task. Jesse James looks like he's finding some extra power as they head out into that smooth open water. Jesse James has taken over the lead. We'll be back with the start of the modified and pro stock classes in the Marathon Offshore Challenge in just a moment.
From one of the leading manufacturers of high-performance powerboats, Apache Powerboats is proud to introduce the Apache King Cat 41-foot catamaran, the fastest cat design on the offshore circuit. Limited editions available for 1986 in both production and race applications. Apache Powerboats, 2800 North 30th Avenue, Hollywood, Florida, or phone area code 305-920-1455.
The Michelob Light Marathon Offshore Challenge, and the first casualty of the day, number 65, Daddy Cool 2. First casualty of the race, only 10 minutes after the start. Looks like Art Swift will be out of the race for the rest of the day. Here is the start of the modified class, and Jim, right off the bat, the M19, Love It Again, has got the lead. That is one of the blue boats that you see out there. Smiling Jackson second. Looks like Special Edition in third, followed by East Coast Marine, and then the Blue Max M99.
As they head now for check boat number 1, they're really stretching it out. These modifieds can really go, Dick Crippen.
And it looks like they're very even out there until you realize that Love It Again is way out in front. Those 2 boats, Smiling Jackson Special Edition, were battling for second place. There's your leader, Love It Again, the M19, and a very smooth ride for that boat as he goes around turn number 1.
And now they make the left to come out under the 7-mile bridge, and like the open class, the modifieds must maintain position for half a mile either side of that bridge.
And the competition is very fierce in that first turn. They're looking to get on the inside and to hold their position because, again, we tell you they are not allowed to pass in any of the classes half a mile either side of the bridge. Bringing up the rear of the field at the moment is the M99. That is the Blue Max, the only woman driver in the field. There you see the boat, Crystal Gerstner. We talked to her about her strategy.
It's We're going to run a cautious race because we're a little bit concerned about the bridges out there. As you know, we've got to go under both the old and the new 7-mile bridge. It's going to be a very fast race. I anticipate not more than a foot of chop out there. It's going to be very fast, but we will run it wide open once we get through the bridges, but we're going to be cautious.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Dick Crippen. She can be cautious because another woman driver, the famous Betty Cook, said if you can finish, chances are you can win. And look, here's the start of the Pro Stock class.
All right, and the P-84 Bandit, Jim, went right out into the lead. Look at how those boats are spaced. A very even start. P-4 Captain America looks like he's in second place at this point. P-52 Long Shot. This is the boat that won at Treasure Key a couple of weeks ago. That boat is up there in third position and certainly is going to be one to watch.
And this Pro Stock class, like the Opens and Modifieds who started before them, likewise will go the full distance, 144 miles.
There's your lead of 7 boats. The P-84 Bandit, Tom Bates driving that boat, and it is behaving beautifully. And this is the water just before the bridge. You can see the bridge just off in the background there, occasionally in your picture, as he heads down there and holds the boat on course.
And you notice the power is outboard, Mercury outboard power rather than inboard.
As they pass under the bridge now, they start hitting into the different types of water, and this is where they have to start making allowances for what they're going to do when the boat starts bouncing, and there it goes.
It's beautiful down here in the Keys, the green water and blue water, depending on the depth.
Captain America trying to get up on the inside now. Omar is very determined to get the inside run on this boat, and Captain America, the P-4, now moving onto the inside of the Bandit. Bandit, the light-colored boat on the outside. The red boat nearest to you is the P-4. That is Captain America. A 7-boat field, the P-84 now being put back into second place. There's your leader, the P-4 Captain America. As we said, Bandit now back about a boat length and a half in second place. Kind of unusual. We have 3 boats running up there. 1, 2, 3. There you see the third place boat on your screen way in the back in the distance. That's what a package, the P-72. Kind of unusual to have 3 boats running this close for first place this early in the race. A little bit of bouncing for Captain America. Let's turn our attention from the Pro Stock class for a moment. Jim is with Art Swift for this KS&W special report. Jim, bring us up to date on that boat.
Well, Dick, attrition started early, 10 minutes into the race. Art and the gang at the Daddy Cool, problems. What happened, Art?
Oh, we run real good. Had a good start, running fine, got under the bridge, and wham, blew the starboard engine. Just went fell to pieces. You know, that's the way it goes. I just got the boat a week ago, you know, and we just put it together, getting ready. I think we're going to put new engines in it right away and start over there. But we're ready for Fort Myers.
Well, Art Swift not overly concerned about that. Here's open class action out on the course right now. Seahawk, the boat nearest to you. On the outside, the leader now is the Jesse James boat. Both the throttleman and the driver are encapsulated in this boat. It's a new safety feature. We talked to Chris Lavin about the feeling in it.
Yeah, it's a little tight. It's sort of a different feeling, but you feel real safe and secure, and you don't move around much.
Well, Chris, of course, is aboard that boat. Jesse James. Here's the 4th place boat, Systems.
Bob Kaiser, the driver out of Detroit, veteran throttleman Earl Lanier. Both drivers sit in their own hull and are connected by a wing per lift. Unlike the deep V's that are one solid piece, these guys have to fly.
Catamaran known as Systems, riding in 4th place as we go. We have a brand new catamaran also that's included in this field of boats out here today. That's the one driven by the Team Apache. As a matter of fact, there it is on your screen right now. We asked Bob Ciceni if he prefers the Deep V over the Cat.
No, they both have their place. The Deep V has its place in open ocean, rough water, and the Cats, they do well in open water, but also I think the preference for a Cat would be in a little lesser seas than what a Deep V could take.
You're watching Offshore Powerboat racing at its finest here on the USA Network, and we'll return to the Michelob Light Marathon Offshore Challenge right after this. We're back at Ferro Blanca Resort. Jim had a chance to talk with Dr. Matt Houghton about the varied safety procedures in this KS&W special report.
Jim, this task is absolutely momentous. We have all of these people as volunteers out here to provide life-saving efforts for our racers. All of them are advanced life support paramedics or physicians who are ready to take a problem and handle it properly when it occurs.
Thank you very much, Dr. Oden. Prevention, caution is the word as they build these hulls to go faster. Let's find out how the driver and the crew are protected as we go to Team Apache and talk to Ben Kramer. Ben, what safety precautions have Team Apache taken?
Well, we have extra padded seats in the cockpit. We've padded the coamings. We've padded everything that you could possibly get hurt with. The seats are anchored in as best as you can anchor them in. We have voted for the other system as far as we don't believe that driving with the seat belts on is safer. It's like 6 one, half dozen the other. I sit over here behind the wheel. My partner Bob Cicente is in the throttle seat. Larry Williams is the navigator. All 3 seats are pretty safe. We run the boat safe. We don't run it to where we get hurt. At least that's the way we like to feel about it.
Well, there you see Team Apache, and that boat is running beautifully right now, and very safely, we might also add in there. Ben Kramer with some very interesting comments, Jim, about the safety features of that boat.
And he's got one of the most veteran throttle men. I think he's the oldest in service now that Sammy James is retired, and that's Bob Cicente, who we talked to earlier. You notice how the offshores are starting to take on a look of an unlimited?
They really are flattening out on the water, and you can also see that response in them as they start flying a little bit more in this open water out here. Team Apache with some new ideas on that boat and hoping for the best. We now look at the leader of the pack, so to speak, Jesse James, as he laps the P-44 Captain America, which of course is a different class of boat. Jesse James having a very beautiful ride out here. They tested that boat earlier in the year, and they really didn't have too much test time before they got to Treasure Key and put it out there, and with that 10-minute penalty, they were not happy with their 3rd place, of course, but they were happy with the way the boat ran.
Look at the cooling system. That water just shooting out of those jets to cool those twin engines.
Seahawk is currently running in 2nd place. We asked the driver, Sal McLeod, about records in this kind of weather.
Well, the weather stays as it is. We're looking for another record-breaking performance out of probably 3 or 4 of the boats can do it at this race. If the wind picks up a little bit outside on the reef, we'd have some jumping around, doing maybe slow down the speeds, but I think overall it's going to be a fast race.
Sal Magluta, the driver of the 2nd place boat, the US-1. Here is Systems, and Systems spinning out on the course. Jim, I can't even imagine the feeling that they went through. I think they have to be happy at this point that the boat apparently is undamaged.
But when the driver has a spin out, the throttle man must control. And veteran Earl Lanier, I'm sure, did.
And as the boat comes around, you're going to see the number 20, the Team Seahawk boat, go by, and now he has moved up into 3rd place. And it appears that the Systems boat is okay. There's Team Apache currently in 4th place. We just heard from race control the US-1 Seahawk may be out of the race. They are under their own power, however, at this point.
Well, that'll leave it up to Willie Falcon and the other Team Seahawk boat, number 20.
Well, let's talk a little bit of the other action that's happening on the course. Here's some modified. This is the M7, the Baja Bandit 2. That boat in the lead right now. Incidentally, a good opportunity for a little personal observation, if I might, right here. A little congratulations to 2 guys who are riding helicopters with shoulder cameras today and doing a fabulous job, Luis Hocevar and Silvio Garcia. I got to say, they are the best as they take you right into the cockpit with these guys.
Just about feel every bounce with the shots they're getting.
All right, here's one of the boats apparently dead in the water. This is Smilin' Jack's. Just like the US-1 Seahawk, that boat has gone dead in the water, and they're trying to make some on-course repairs.
It's something in the port engine, Dick, and I think they might be underway again. It's possible.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for them. There's the M65, East Coast Marine. These guys look like they're out for some sort of a pleasure cruise today. Looking back over the left shoulder there, see who's coming up on the inside.
All 3 engines have to really click at the same time, Dick.
Good shot of the M65, East Coast Marine. There's M66 Special Edition going under the 7-mile bridge. This is the point where the water starts changing a little bit as they go out into the open ocean, if you will. A lot of sponsors for today's race are viewing the race from the 7-mile bridge. We're glad to see that Ditzler Paints is getting involved in voting once again. And there's a good shot into the cockpit of Special Edition, the M66, John D'Elia and John Digger Durgans on the throttle.
Durgans has got to work right now, as D'Elia, of course, heads course. Durgans has to work those throttles as they come out of the water. He has to be very careful. He doesn't have his RPMs up high when the props clear the water on the cavitation.
What happens if he does?
And it'll wind up tight in a drum and blow an engine, and they're done for the day.
And we might have already seen some of that a little bit earlier with some of the boats that went out, because the temptation has been to open these boats up on the water. Here's Lovett again, the M19, Mike Lehman. You can hear the throttle action on that boat. We asked Mike if he was expecting rough water today.
It should be real nice, just about how it is right now. It should be a real a cat race.
I have to assume that he's smiling underneath that mask because it certainly is a cab race.
Well, there, you know, look at him bounce now. The throttle man's bouncing, navigator, driver hanging on, and this is not that rough.
You can actually hear the throttle action as he goes from wave to wave.
Watch his hand and listen.
This is a tremendous shot. In a lot of races, you wouldn't get a shot like this because the water would be much too rough out there, but even as calm as the water is, that throttle man is constantly working.
They have to work as a team. They all have their job if they're to succeed.
Again, the cockpit, the M19, love it again, the name of that boat. They're having a good ride here in the Michelob Light Marathon Offshore Challenge. But now they are trying to catch this boat, the Baja Bandit 2, the M7, the new leader in this class, passing up. Love it again earlier on.
2 men in this boat rather than 3, so one has extra duty as the navigator. And they must keep strict communications, hand signals, intercoms in their helmets if they have that system, like the officials. Roger Rogers, who's the head referee for this one, talks to all his crew on the Icon system on shore.
And there's a lot of people to talk to. As a matter of fact, a lot of people involved in putting on this race. I had the pleasure before the race to talk to Mayor Feiner, who's kind of wearing several hats in this particular occasion.
I'm the mayor of a small city in the Keys called Key Conley Beach. We have a very small population, about 2,000 people, but I'm also on the Tourist Development Board and have been out that for the past year, and my projects are to help develop tourism for the entire Monroe County. I think what's happening here today in Marathon is probably the biggest event that Marathon's ever had. And I think when you see some of the pictures when the race starts and you go out and see the crowds that are going to be on the 7-mile bridge, which is a most dramatic thing to start with, and I think this marathon is an ideal area for this race.
Well, there you see the ACR Spirit P2. We talked to driver Pete Marzano because this is a brand new boat. How does he feel about it?
This will be the 3rd time out in it, and I feel very confident in it. You know, it's totally different than the boat we ran last year, but by the same token, I like the attitude of the boat, so I feel that we're going to go out there and do something.
Well, a positive attitude is certainly good, but the boat is not running the way it should. It's running a lot slower. Here's your leader right now. This is What a Package, the current leader in the P-Boats, P72, the number.
Roger Burkon, our statistician, the newest member of the Offshore Commission, helping us today, has just notified us that Smiling Jack is back. He's in 2nd place.
Well, there we saw some on-course repairs for Smiling Jack as we look at the current leader right now. What a Package. A father and son team, incidentally. The father driving, the son running the throttles on the boat. They're having a good conversation while they're leading this particular pack. What a Package, P72. Dom is driving. Paul, his son, is the throttle man. They are out of New Jersey, and they right now lead this pack in the pro stock action. Long shot, now in 3rd position, the P52. This boat, as we told you earlier on, had won the first of the offshore races this year in Treasure Key. Right now trying to play a little bit of catch-up. Smiling Jack in 2nd. What a Package is now the leader. More exciting offshore racing from the beautiful Florida Keys, exclusively here on the USA Network when we come back. On course, Jesse James, number 3. So far, so good for this boat. Had a little bit of problem in Treasure Key, but came up with a 3rd place finish and was very happy with the way the boat tested out. Today, they were looking to get out there and see if they could do all sorts of good things, from records right up to 1st place. Jesse James, boat number 3. And it looks like they may have a little problem.
He looks like he's slowing down.
Jesse James is slowing down on the course. The Laban brothers have got to be wondering what's going on now. The boat definitely has come off plane and is now sitting dead in the water. Jim, I can't believe the amount of boats that have gone out of this.
Daddy Cool, too, first to go out. Love it again in the modified section, along with Crystal Gerstner in the Blue Max. And then the last year's national champion Seahawk out of the race. And now Jesse James.
So Jesse James The Lavin brothers are sitting there, helmet off on one of them, and they are now wondering what in the world happened to that boat.
And here's your leader now in open class, the other Seahawk team member.
This is the Seahawk 20, Willie Falcon, driving this boat, and at this point I'm sure he is aware that he has taken over the lead and now leads the open class of boats. So the Seahawk team boat, number 20, in the lead. Little happiness on the part of the navigator as he kind of jumps up and down back there.
He knows, he knows.
He definitely does. Seahawk team boat has taken over the lead, and they are running flawlessly at this point. We spoke before about this being cat water, and when you see how smooth that big boat handles in this water, you can understand where the term comes from.
These boats are reaching speeds now in good water today at 115 plus mile an hour.
Actually, they were completing laps at somewhere around 25 minutes for the entire course, which is just unbelievable for boats this size, even as powerful as they are. This is really a very fast course. Here's Team Apache, another boat that's doing a fine job out there. The new boat, Ben Kramer. We talked to him earlier about the boat. Bob Sassani mentioned that he liked the feel of this catamaran. He felt that it would have a good advantage, but it's getting light.
It's light on the front end right now. They just better trim her down a little bit.
Here's an example of another catamaran working a little differently, riding a little bit smoother out there. Different style boat, different type of design. This is the M7, the Baja Bandit 2, the clear leader in the modified class. Right now, they have no problem with that boat at all. With the attrition rate as high as it is, though, I'm sure they must be wondering, like everybody else, when is it going to happen? But right now, Baja Bandit 2 is riding almost to perfection.
And Smiling Jack still remains in second place in the modified division.
So if there's a challenge at all that's going to be issued to the Baja boat, it is going to be by Smiling Jack. Of course, they lost a little bit of time with the on-course repairs earlier. Jim, at this point, Smiling Jack, really no strategy, just go for it.
Actually, at this point, it's the finish. The finish is the place, and you have a chance to win.
Jim, we got another boat slowing down. I can't believe this. Team Apache, a brand new boat. That boat definitely off plane. What a disappointment.
That tells the whole story when they get on the dance floor in the back of the boat and they start looking overboard. It looks like it may be an outdrive problem.
Team Apache, we don't know whether they'll even try to get back in. All the helmets are off at this point. Here's Systems now in second place. This was the boat that spun out earlier.
And the way Earl Laniero's handling the throttles, the way the boat is riding, looks like no ill effects from that spin out on the hull.
He's certainly got it under control, and he is right now passing US 1. Of course, that boat had gone out earlier in the race. The boat now under its own power, but out of the race, apparently. So Systems now in second place to the Seahawk team boat number 20.
And they're coming toward the 7-mile bridge again.
This is a beautiful, beautiful sight and a great vantage point for many of the spectators. Some of the cars going across there probably looking down saying, holy mackerel, what do they got out there today? But they've got some fine racing action going, and the Systems boat now operating beautifully. We move over to the Pro Stock action. Once again, the P-72, what a package. We had a good shot of the interior of the cockpit of this boat a little bit earlier, and it doesn't look like anything's changed in there. The guys still enjoying a very fine ride. They're out of New Jersey. They appreciate this fine weather down in Marathon at this time of the year. Well, they have been looking very casual the whole race, but they are really not. They're very hard on those throttles because Captain America has been threatening the entire time. There you see Captain America, the P4. They are in second place as it stands right now, but they are challenging. Again, a good shot inside that cockpit. It looks very casual, but these boats topping 100 miles an hour.
Seems like they have more room than some of the Pro Stock classes in that working office there.
The P-84, Tom Bates in Bandit. You can see how he stacks up against the field right now, currently running in third place, trailing the two leaders. You see the two lead boats out there, and it really is a very close race at this point because they've gone a good distance.
And the water is smooth, and they're outboard powered, and they're just trimmed out beautifully, and they are riding, as you say, very good.
The finish of the Michelob Light Marathon Offshore Challenge is in sight, and we'll be back with the action after this. Well, spectators in from all around to be on hand for today's competition. There's the Delfino 2 owned by Bernie Little, and earlier Jim had an opportunity to talk with him about his involvement in offshore powerboat racing.
Bernie, after having so much success in Unlimiteds and in the offshores, you're still like a fire horse when these big engines start powering up on race morning.
Yeah, I sure am, Jim. You just can't get it out of your blood, you know, and when John Carbonell called me and said, Bernie, does Michelob Light want to be involved in the marathon race? I couldn't get here fast enough. So here we are.
Will you ever go back to offshore?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we will. And you know I will. And we're going to take a little cooling period this year and look it over and see if we can help some of the race sites with some dollars to be involved with them, and then we'll see what we'll do for next year.
A little over a month from now, the Miss Budweiser goes on another challenge in Miami in the Unlimiteds. Looking forward to this new turbine of yours.
Yeah, so am I. In fact, I haven't mentioned this yet, but I'm going to run two Miss Budweiser 1 turbine, Miss Budweiser 2 Rolls-Royce Griffin in Miami, and I'm going to find out for myself which is the best boat.
Well, speaking of the best boat, this is the best boat in this race thus far in the open class. The Team Seahawk number 20. They are heading down now toward the finish line. I think they are sensing at this point what is happening.
Well, Willie Falcone on the left there, the port side, has the wheel holding steady while his throttle man and his navigator are really celebrating. They can take their hands off the wheel because they have no wheel.
Well, they are coming by the spectator fleet. They are waving out there. Look at the excitement in that crew now. What a thrill for this crew to come in here, really as the second boat of the Seahawk team.
Look who's excited here. Their teammates who broke early. Look at Sal McCluda do a dance.
Well, I'll tell you what, they are a team true and through. No question about it. Here's Systems. Now, what a comeback story this is, Jim. The Systems boat in second place.
No doubt about it. It shows that if you can finish and avoid the attrition, you can finish high up and possibly even win.
And I'd have to say, if the odds were against the boat, it was probably this boat early on when they went out and spun out on the course, but they got back in it, and I'm going to be anxious to hear what Kaiser has to say about recovering in that boat. Here's the leader in the Pro Stock class coming in for the win. This is What a Package. This is the father and son team that we had talked about out of New Jersey. And again, they remain totally calm in that boat, but they've had competition all day long from the Bandit boat. But right now they are coming in, and there's the win for the Pro Stock class, P72. What a package.
After taking a pounding for 142 miles, or your tense, there wasn't so much pounding today, the water's pretty good, but after being tense and hearing gremlins, you know, when you get about 5 miles to go to the checkered flag, you start hearing things in the engine. Is it going to hold together? And this is the biggest thrill that completes the whole afternoon to take that checkered flag.
And this is their first win, so they're especially happy with this one. What a package out of New Jersey. Dom and Paul Palumbi, the father and son team. And well, this team is going to be celebrating for 3 weeks, I think. This is the Team Seahawk, number 20. Juan gets the flag there and takes it back into position. They're anxious to get back to the docks with that checkered flag to show everybody what they did. This race today ran beautifully. We have to commend the race committee for a very fine job. These are very complex events. Jim Hendrick had a chance to talk with the race coordinator, John Carbonell, about today's happening.
Dick, as you know, it takes a lot to put on a race like this, and here's the race chairman, Big John. What do you think? Was it successful?
I think so for the first time. We had a few small kinks, but I think next year it'll be twice as good.
John, how was the water? You were out there in a 17-foot boat crashing around.
I'd say it was about maximum 2-footers out there.
So the boats really had an easy time in your race?
I think so. I didn't think they really had any problem at all out in the outside.
John Carbonell, the race director of the Marathon Offshore Challenge. Dick?
And of course, Jim, this was the second race of the year for the offshore calendar. Here are some of the upcoming events some of the folks might like to get out and see in Fort Myers, Florida on the 17th of May, then New Orleans, Louisiana, followed by Sarasota, Florida, then to New Jersey, and then up into your area, up around Michigan.
Yes, 2 of them. Grand Haven on the 9th of August, August 24th at Northport, then out to Rochester, New York, the 6th of September, and wrapping up Miami, Florida, September 27th.
Well, we'll be back with the winners in this exciting Michelob Light Marathon Offshore Challenge from the Florida Keys right after this. While the Team Seahawk crew calms down and they're celebrating their victory, let's talk about second place. Jim Hendrick is with Bob Kaiser down in the pit area.
Well, Dick, they overcame an obstacle here with the systems to finish second. Bob Kaiser and Earl Lanier, the team. Bob, what happened out there? You spun it out.
Oh, yeah, it was my fault. Around turn number 1 on a third lap, I took it a little bit too tight, and we swapped ends for a little while. We went down for maybe a minute or maybe 2 minutes, I think, right, Errol? And other than that, we got back going, and then by that time, the pack had left us. But the boat ran fantastic, and Jesse James and Sal were setting a blistering pace, and of course, Apache was right in there.
Okay, Dick.
Well, I got to tell you, there's the spoils of victory. Some of them, Willie, a terrific ride out there today.
Yes, it was really nice today. The calm water and the boat ran great. The totalman also did a great job. So we just gave the boat together and we finished. We won.
Jay, well, any problems for you out there?
No problems at all. The people from KSW did a tremendous job with the engines, the oil pressure, everything just hung in there. The drivers from Second Effort guys did a fine job of tuning our boat in. Everything ran like the day. Beautiful. Everything was beautiful.
Well, you guys are making it sound like a Sunday afternoon drive.
Oh, yes. It was nice.
Well, everybody got involved in it. Look at this over here now. He's getting all greased up after this whole thing. Huh?
I just kept my navigation going in the right place.
Well, we congratulate all of you. A tremendous victory out there and a big thrill for this crowd.
Okay, thank you.
Here's your winner in the modified division of this Michelob Light Marathon Offshore Challenge, the Baja 2.
And the Baja Bandit 2 M7 coming in after taking over the lead early on in the race from the M19. Love it again. Good ride for this crew. And I know they've got to be happy to take that checkered flag. And there they are, the winner of the modified class, the M7 Baja Bandit 2. They're going to get a lot of congratulatory waves and such as they pass the tremendous crowd that gathered here in Marathon on their way back to the pit area. A fine win for Baja Bandit 2. Jim Hendrick is on hand with the winners.
Happy crew of the Baja Bandit, winners of the modified class, Dick. And actually here with John and Larry. John, it has to feel real good.
The best. First time out. First winner on the boat.
And this is a new haul?
Definitely. Brand new boat. First race today.
Larry, as the chief mechanic and throttle man, she must have handled beautiful.
Yes, she handled good. We had a little trouble getting up on plane, and we're the last ones out, but we caught them all, and they all broke, and just played it smart and took it easy, and we won it.
Okay, congratulations. There are other happy winners in the Pro Stock class, and let's go down to Dick Crippen for that one.
Well, Jim, in the production class, we had What a Package as the winner. Dominic, I got to tell you right off the bat, fantastic ride. You guys look great out there.
Thank you. We had a great time out there. Everything ran well. We have new Mercury-powered motors. This is the first race with them. They ran strong, and they brought us to a first place.
And that smile gets bigger and bigger every time you think about it.
Sure does.
You got a couple of young guys over here, look, joined by Miss Conk Republic, incidentally. I noticed they did that.
Yeah, this is my son, Paul. He's
Hi.
the throttle man.
Hi.
And our navigator, Rich Tropoli.
Rich, I heard it was a real Sunday drive for you. I mean, navigator, you didn't have to do anything.
I could have taken a nap on this race.
What about throttles, Paul?
They were right down there, right where they should be, full out, just about practically through the whole race. And we had a little tight competition with Captain America and the boat Bandit, but we seemed to take them. And that was the important thing for the race.
Well, the Michelob Light Marathon Offshore Challenge, a matter of history at this point. We're going to take a little look back, Jim, and review the winners in each of the classes, because some exciting, safe racing out there today.
In the open class, Team Seahawk, number 20. In second place, the number 7 boat, the Systems, even after a spin out, and Molson Indy finished third. In the modified class, Baja Bandit 2. And in second place, after almost going out of the race, Smiling Jacks. In the Pro Stock, What a Package, followed by Captain America P4 and the P84, the Bandit, in third.
Well, Jim, I don't think we could have asked for anything more. The weather was great, accommodations were tremendous, hospitality great, the winners are enjoying, and it was a good race.
Yes, and it was a good race, Dick, because it was a safe race. We had a couple spin-outs, nobody was hurt, and I think that's the best news. The competition was good, and we did have, as you said, a lot of clean water, but I really like it when all the boats are back in the pits and everybody's safe.
That's right, and they certainly went for a hard win today, too. They had those engines running real hard and blew a lot of.
That's right. And I want you to know right now that these guys are pros. They're a special breed. They like the competition. I enjoyed working with them, and Dick Crippen, I really enjoyed working with you.
Well, Jim, it's good. We're going to do it again.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you along the way. So from Marathon in the heart of the Keys, Dick Crippen for Jim Hendricks, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
The Michelob Light Marathon Offshore Challenge has been brought to you by Mercury Marine. Only your pulse accelerates faster than a Merc.
And by KS&W Offshore Engineering, the power behind the winning team. A promotional fee and/or consideration has been provided by Barro Blanco. Barro Blanco is the perfect destination offering the best of island life, outdoor sports, unsurpassed fishing, diving, sumptuous dining, and full marina facilities. And by the Marine Bank of Monroe County. The Marine Bank has 7 branches from Key Largo to Key West and always offers 100% free checking. Thanks again to the Marine Bank.
Don't miss the men's finals of the Pro Tennis Italian Open next Monday night at 11. Now stay tuned for the Alfred Hitchcock Hour, next on USA.